くのが嬉しいのかもしれません。
You gave me holy rain 恐れずに進めよ holy rain
Welcome back to Anime Cut Tutorial, the place where we bring your favorite anime scenes to life with After Effects.
This part is basically the layout for the first cut, the scene where a blonde female character attacks Fern with her sword. Of course, in actual anime production, the layout is usually much more detailed, with notes to help the team clearly visualize each scene. Here, I'm only making a rough sketch to define the placement of the background, the characters, and the necessary effects. For this scene, we'll need a background of a village with a reddish sunset tone like this. Next is the blonde character with the sword. Basically, we'll have to use some effects to match her colors with the background. I usually use curves, hue, and an extra fill layer for color balancing. Then we have Fern on the right side of the frame, where she's casting her attack spell. The magic beam effect for this shot is something I already explained earlier, so you can check that part again if you need to. Once we've set up all the necessary layers and finished adjusting the effects and colors, we'll create a final comp to add the camera shake effect for the action scene. Just like in the previous videos I showed, you can simply use a wiggle expression on the position to achieve this shake. And here is the layout for the second scene. Still the same blonde character, skipping past Stark and attacking toward Fern. For this shot, we'll need an abstract sky background like this, and the rest will be the character's movement frames. If you've seen the trailer, you might think this sequence requires a lot of frames to animate the motion, but in reality, we only need around 8-9 basic frames like these. Then we use key animation to smooth out the movement. The frames I marked in red are actually the same frame, just shifted slightly up or down. Using this method, you can create an animation like this with only a small number of frames, which saves the animators a lot of work. Next, I'll briefly talk about the third cut. This is the scene where Fern steps back and uses her shield to block the previous attack. In part 1 of the anime tutorial series, I already explained how to create the shield effect, so you can check that again if you need to. Aside from adding some particle effects, this scene mainly requires a bit of camera zoom and camera pan to complete it. Once the official version is released, I'll make a more detailed tutorial video for this shot. Now let's move on to the layout for the fourth scene. This is the close-up shot right after the shield is shattered and Fern reacts in surprise. Just like before, the first thing we need is a suitable background. Then we add Fern, and make sure to use color matching effects so she blends properly with the scene. Next is her staff. After that, we'll create the broken pieces of the magic shield. You'll need to generate each shard separately and split them into individual layers like this, so the animation process later becomes easier. Enable 3D layer and set keyframes to animate the shards, making them look like they're flying through the air. For the shard in front of the character, I animate it with a special motion like this so it appears perfectly during the camera zoom. Finally, create a final comp and set keyframes for position and scale to achieve the zoom effect. Tweak it a bit and you'll get a result like this. Now let's move on to the layout of the final scene, the moment where Stark steps in and blocks the attack for Fern. Just like the previous shots, we'll need a background and the character frames set up like this. At the moment their weapons collide, there will be a particle burst effect, similar to a small firework. You can create this using Trapcode Particular, or by hand drawing a few impact frames like these and animating them frame by frame. Add a glow layer, adjust the colors, and you'll get an effect that looks like this. Finally, apply some camera shake to complete the shot. Also, for scenes 4 and 5, from what I can see, we'll need to add a few extra in-between frames to smooth out the transitions and make the motion flow better, like this. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.